Hi, morning. Dave from Arana Physio. So today I was going to discuss to you about sort of plantar fascia anatomy and introduce you to Baxter's nerve. So your plantar fascia is a tendinous or sort of fibrous structure that starts from the base of your heel down here and extends all the way up. And then if you look at this sort of the blue colour here, it then sort of goes in at 5 interdigitations that then attach into the joint of your metatarsal phalangeal joint. So the little joints just between this part of your foot and your toes. So look, it's a really important structure and it's often one that's a source of problems and pain for people. But really, what is it and what does it do? So your plantar fascia, if you look at it, its structure when they go into it is very, very similar in what makes up like your Achilles tendon. So it's highly composed of what we call type 1 collagen fibers, which are really strong. And these collagen fibers are laid down in lines of stress going from the heel up towards the toes. So this means that that's for the forces that it has to adapt to are going to go in that line. Now the other interesting thing about this is, and this is relevant to some people that have plantar heel pain, is that in younger patients or younger people, is that this plantar fascia tends to come up and then it will actually have reflections that come around the sides of the heel, and these blend into the side of the tendon, the Achilles tendon here. So this is actually a relatively continuous structure when we're younger. And the importance behind that is your Achilles tendon is a big absorber of force. It stores energy and then it releases energy. And that's how we sort of propel ourselves forward. It's how kangaroos jump so high. But the plantar fascia as well does the same thing. So it has to be able to store force when the foot hits the ground. Then it has to be able to absorb it, and then it has to be able to sort of expel it to help propel us forward. So if these two structures are working together, then you've got a really effective system. Now, when we get older, what we tend to find is, or what's been shown in some sort of cadaver studies, is that this continuation here that joins the paratendon to the plantar fascia starts to mineralize and it becomes stiffer, more bony-like, so we start to lose that really effective spring mechanism. And that could potentially be a source of why people develop plantar heel pain. Now, the other thing I want to have a look at is these red lines coming through here. This is my attempt to draw the nervous system onto the plantar fascia. So down here we have our lateral plantar nerve coming to the outside toes, and then our medial plantar nerve coming up to our big toe and its little neighbours there. But as you can see down here, just before we sort of branch off into our lateral and our medial plantar nerve, it takes a bit of a right-hand turn. And this guy down here has now been turned to as Baxter's nerve. Now, Baxter's nerve has been attributed to a portion of people that might get plantar heel pain. And some studies have recommended, or sort of realised that probably anywhere up to about 20% of people that have plantar heel pain might have an issue with this. Now, the problem with the nerve is that what happens is it comes down the side of the foot down here is your tibial nerve, then it divides into the two, sort of the medial and lateral plantar nerve. But it takes quite a sort of duck hook. It's got a real right angle turn to take under here. So it can potentially get trapped between the bones and some of the deep muscles. So your adductor hallucis longus, I think, and your quadratus plantae. And that can be a source of irritation and a source of pain. So that's another potential point of problems for plantar fascia people. They will tend to be the ones that maybe have persistent pain, so it doesn't ease with rest, it's constantly burning, and that's another way we've got to go and have a look and just treat it. And that can be by joint mobilization through the back, use of orthotics and other techniques. Now, the plantar fascia itself, if we come back to this, where its joint starts in the heel and joins to the toes, it actually, as it's going up through here, the body of it blends with the small muscles of your intrinsic muscles in your feet. So this probably means that your plantar fascia, because of that, has a role in the fine foot function. So again, if we're not actually working how to sort of retrain and rehab these sort of intrinsic muscles in your foot, then we're probably not getting you effectively treated for your plantar fascia problem. The third thing that we want to talk about is, most people that have got tickly feet will understand this, is this is a really, really sensitive structure. So in your plantar fascia, there's lots of little nerve receptors. Now, apart from give you tickly feet, the other thing that this is going to be really responsible for is your balance sense. So much like an ankle that sprains itself, that sometimes if people have got a plantar fascia, that we've got to rehab their proprioceptive control as well, so their balance control. So really that's what's going on with the plantar fascia. So that gives you a bit of an idea of the anatomy. Now, I'm going to pass the foot on to Matt, and hopefully he's going to have a chat with you sometime this week about its function in walking and what the plantar fascia does. And then later on, I'll have a chat to you about exercise rehab and prescription and how to successfully treat it from a physio point of view. And Matt will do the same from a podiatry point of view. So I hope that's been useful. Now you know about Baxter's nerve. It's not as good as my old dog called Baxter. But have a nice day and we'll speak to you later. Bye bye.